So let me ask you this, young Brian. Do you have the immediately, obviously, you could just go to WWE.com and they've got the entire list of matches that have been announced for WrestleMania right there on the front page where everybody can see what they are, right?
I will find out right now. I'm at WWE.com. The whole lot of pop-up for biography, WWE Legends, new episode tonight. When's the Iron Sheik episode? I want to see that.
I don't know, but we're getting another odd couple instead of a 2-hour. We're getting another 2 1-hour episode. Wasn't it great that Soraya got an hour biography? She's not been alive half as long as Jerry Lawler. Lawler got an hour biography. He's been in the business 50 years, but nevertheless.
Well, she's also had more scandals in her period of time than he has in all those years, and he had a lot. So what does that say?
Boy, howdy. You know what? Maybe they should have done the biographies about that. But nevertheless, your information.
Well, actually, if you go to WWE.com, the first thing that pops up is the Usos savagely assaulted Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn on SmackDown with the SmackDown results. And then more about SmackDown. There's trending WWE news, including Rey Mysterio will look to teach his son Dominik some respect at WrestleMania, but there's not a concerted WrestleMania tab that I'm seeing.
So the biggest event of the year that they want people to watch on Peacock.
Now, there's a tab for that. There's a tab for Peacock. But it doesn't have anything to do with WrestleMania on here.
But that's they're not telling us what's going on as their main priority on their globally viewed website. Where are we going to get this information now on what the matches are?
They used to pound home what those matches on those pay-per-views were going to be for a month.
Of course, yes. Vince used to pound us to make sure we used to have the date of each week's television where a specific match was going to be announced in our books alongside that match. And if everything wasn't announced within, 2 or 3, maybe 3 weeks out, Vince was having a fucking cow.
Well, Jim, I found some matches on Wikipedia.
We got to go to Wikipedia to look up the card for, I hope the new owners will take this into consideration.
Well, there are a couple matches that have been specified apparently for a specific night, and there's a lot with night to be determined. Let's go with those first. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, the champion, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley.
Boy, howdy, they need to be switching a lot of titles. A lot of belts need to be falling this weekend because I really think Rhea needs to win this, don't you?
I think so. She lost to Charlotte the last time they wrestled at WrestleMania, and I think all the momentum right now is with Rhea. I think a loss would actually hurt her.
So, I don't really see any reason that they wouldn't be putting it on her, and I don't really see any, other alternative or why you would want to try to elongate that when the time is now. So let's go with Rhea Ripley.
For the WWE Raw Women's Championship, the champion Bianca Belair versus Asuka.
Let's go with I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if that Oscar gets the electric chair. 'Cause I don't want to see her, and I don't want to be here, and I don't want her to beat Belair.
All right, I'm going to pick Bianca Belair. Our next match, Jim. Brock Lesnar versus Omos with MVP.
Okay, well, obviously, in any kind of sane universe, you would not beat Brock Lesnar with, Omos is never going to be Andre the Giant. And I don't think in this day and age that, it's going to work. He's huge, and maybe as a giant bodyguard or tag team partner, but when he's in there by himself, it don't need to be long and it don't need to be much. So, having said that, it wasn't Brock going around saying goodbye, telling people he might be finishing up, or was that a negotiating tactic
When they told him he was going to work with Bray.
Well, I was about to say, was that when they told him he was going to work with Bray Wyatt, and he was like, well, I guess I won't be around much longer. I think if Brock is staying, and not staying because he's barely there to begin with, but if Brock is going to continue to wrestle in the WWE, there's a 100% chance he will beat Omos. If Brock is not going to, then in some way or another, they may get him to do something for this giant fellow.
I think they got to get Lashley involved just to finish up everything him and Brock had going on for a while. But
well, yeah, and poor Bobby's got to be insulted because first Wyatt picks fucking Brock as the guy he wants to work with, and Brock says fuck you. So then it's going to be Bray and Lashley, and now Bray takes his ball and goes home. I think Lashley's going to feel, what have I got, halitosis?
Could you imagine you're Lashley, you're told you're going to work with Bray, and you're like, all right. And then they come to you like, listen, the ideas were way too crazy. We can't even do it. But, Jim, the next match, a triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship of the Intercontinents. The champion, Gunther, versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre.
Well, they probably won't do this, but if it was me, I would start Gunther right now, or not right now, he's already had the title, but I would have the idea right now to make him the next Roman Reigns level reigning champion with the Intercontinental title. But like Dusty said one time to me in the Midnight Express, as the U.S. tag title, as part of your ring gear, baby, the belts are yours. And just he can work with anybody. I would leave that thing on him and let him just be over. And at that point, in another, year or 14 months or whatever, then you've got another long-term reign that means something like Roman Reigns has, but at least with the Intercontinental title, to where some major name that was either just coming out of the main event world title picture, or maybe even still in it. Maybe you have some type of fucking showdown between them, and it starts elevating that belt. And in the meantime, it gives Gunther something to brag about. He wrestles a wide variety of opponents, and he gets a lot of wins because that's how you build a fucking top guy. And then Gunther, after a run like that, could instantly move into the main event picture with a Roman Reigns, or if Brock is still around, or whoever the fuck the main event people are going to be in a year and a half. If they're not in the, Sunnydale rest home or signed up to AARP.
I agree with you. The Intercontinental title itself has needed repair for 25 years, even though some great wrestlers have held it. It has flipped so many times it means nothing. So having someone hold it for so long, you reestablish it. Gunther's been great. I think he drops it to Braun Breaker or someone, and then you move him up to Cody.
There you go. There you go. But anyway, the next match.
Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch versus the team of Damage Control, comprised of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky.
Honestly, I will try, if the shows don't go 6 hours each night, I will try to give that match some attention for just to see how Lita and Trish are looking, and because of Becky and Bayley. I mean, the backup they have given her. Not only these two girls are so tiny, but they were plucked straight out of the middle card. You're talking about, at one point, the most popular attraction, male or female, in the company, Becky Lynch, a few years ago, and two Hall of Fame level, females against, Bayley's done great, and there's two girls from the middle of the card. I don't see them a threat to anybody. Do you?
I'm not looking forward to this match personally, but I'm sure there are lots of fans who are. Jim, in a Hell in a Cell match, Edge versus Finn Balor.
Again, I like Edge. I don't know about Finn. Um, Finn Balor was great, or has been great many times in the past, obviously. But a great technician, a great worker. He was the great fucking, technical guy and a baby face. We remember when he was Prince Devitt. And I just don't see him as part of the evil, goth looking Judgment Day of Dominik and Priest and Ripley. It doesn't fit. It looks odd to me. It looks like one of the Osmonds joined the Jackson 5. And for that, I don't see him in a Hell in a Cell match. Like he's fucking Bulldog Brower or some fucking crazed, drooling maniac. Maybe it's just, but I like Edge. So there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, can Edge lose a Hell in a Cell to Finn Balor at WrestleMania? Would that just make the people in a bad mood?
I hope Edge wins, and I hope they end this thing with him in the Judgment Day, but I have not enjoyed anything with Edge in a while, and I'm not looking forward to this match either. But it's not because of Finn Balor. I'm just sick of Edge.
Well, just gloom and doom over the top of your head. Is it goddamn raining cat piss?
Well, our next match, Jim, in a women's WrestleMania showcase fatal 4-way tag team match.
Oh, boy.
Sponsored by BathroomBreak.com. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus a team yet to be announced.
I am going to be testing the theory that West Shore Home can replace my bathtub or shower during the course of that match.
Well, of course, Jim, West Shore Home has fine showcases, and our next match, the men's WrestleMania showcase fatal 4-way tag team match.
Oh, God damn it.
Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders.
I got 2 bathrooms in my house. I'm going to see if West Shore Home can do both of them during the course of those 2 matches.
In a match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship, the champions, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
As far as, this is definitely going to be one of the most over matches, the people most interested in it. We're definitely going to watch it. As far as trying to predict the winner, boy, like I said, if all of the big belts change hands, that's a lot of belts changing hands in one weekend. They made it for the title. So therefore, I don't think they can beat Owens and Sammy at this particular point. They can get heat on them afterwards, but I don't think they can fuck them. I think that will be such a downer. That's why I had thought maybe, just make a grudge match of some description and put Kevin and Sammy over in a fight, but you've left the tag title situation to be unresolved to another day. But I think Sammy and Kevin got to win, but again, they've got this all worked out. So something will need to come of it that plays into where the bloodline go after, which we're probably going to find out on the Monday Night Raw after the Sunday night, because I think they've got to give us some clue at that point of where the bloodline goes.
I think Sammy and Kevin have to get their monster WrestleMania pop here, and I think we need to go into Raw with all the bloodline having no belts, because there's the story.
Yeah.
Jim, Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio.
Boy, oh boy. Call me crazy. I think they got to put Dominik over, don't they?
Well, side question, will it kill Dominik's career if he tapped out to his dad spanking him in the ring? If the finish was his dad finally, he takes a few bumps for his mom and his sister, and then his dad just starts spanking him, and he taps out.
Okay, unless that's the finish, I say Dominik needs to go over. But if that's the finish, I will fucking buy that, and I'll buy you a drink.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll have a Sprite Zero on the rocks.
There you go, baby.
Jim, announced for night one, Seth Franklin Rollins versus Logan Paul.
We're gonna love this because good old Seth Franklin is very athletic and he can work with a lot of different people. And so we've talked about Logan Paul being a prodigy. He's still green. He's had 2 matches or 3 matches or whatever it is. So I don't care how good Kurt Angle wasn't that good. But he can do a lot of shit, and he gets the idea, the concept of the wrestling business. So with Seth, I think even though I've liked most of Logan Paul's interviews because he genuinely comes off as a dick, we don't know what Seth is doing with the the dancing and the gyrating and the cackling and the machine gun fucking Daffy Duck bullshit. But in the ring, this is going to be good. So I'm going to look forward to this. Is one of the ones I'm looking forward to. And I think Seth may need to win this one too. Because it's WrestleMania most time, but the baby face is over at the big show was always the MO, but I don't know that Seth can put Logan. Well, it depends on how often Logan Paul's going to be back, but I'm going with Seth winning.
I think Seth has to win because I'm going with the idea Logan Paul's not going to be a regular right out of Mania, and also Seth just got knocked out twice.
Yeah.
He's got to get a win out of that.
Yeah.
And he's going to thank us one day when he takes Tony's money and he can call himself Franklin. You're welcome. Jim, also for night one, for the United States Championship, the champion Austin Theory versus John Cena.
Okay. God damn it. Here's the thing. We don't know how much Cena has agreed to do going forward. So is this the match, or is this the start of something that will culminate in another match between these two? So I'm going to, again, qualify my response. If this is the only time that Cena's wrestling, or the only time that Cena's wrestling Austin Theory, or maybe he comes back later on this year for another appearance, but unless they're starting something of an ongoing nature between these two, I think Theory needs to win this. And also, unless it's for the U.S. title, yes, they could do some kind of bullshit disqualification, but I don't think that helps anybody, and I don't know that John would want to be involved in a match where the finish is just everybody. Meh. So if it's a one-time only, especially, Theory needs to win. But if more is going to come of it, then I can see them doing something, obviously, where Cena would go over.
For night two, already announced, Jim, the main event, for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, the champion Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Cody Rhodes.
Don't pop your stitches there now, chicken wing. Cody's he has to, doesn't he? Again, and just like you said, the story has to be bloodline showing up with no belts, but some plan for revenge. But of anything, Cody's got to win this, win the belt at that point, or the whole story gets muddy. And it's again, some people might say, well, but there needs to be more trials and tribulations and up and down. There's more to the story to be written. Hey, the story's getting a little longer, long as War and Peace here at this point. We need to go ahead and get to the end of it, and then let's start a new story with the same characters. So I think Cody's going to win the fucking thing. I think they probably realize that also. With this build, it would be very deflating for everybody's spirit if it didn't happen like everybody mostly wants it to happen.
This is the main event of night two. I think we're going to see Cody win. I think we're going to see fireworks. I think we're going to see Brandy and the baby hugging him. I think we're going to see a celebration. And I think we're going to go into Raw wondering what the hell's going on with the bloodline. It's perfect.
Well, remember WrestleMania, we had the goddamn balloons, or SummerSlam rather, had the balloons come down and the marching band played, and They
That's true.
celebrated anyway for poor old Lex as he stood there.
But Lex never tattooed his logo on his neck. He's not as committed as Cody is.
That's true. That's true. And Vince should have been committed for that whole thing.
Well, there it is.
Anyway.
What is already announced for WrestleMania. Obviously, if The Rock feels like he needs an ego boost, he'll show up and just wave to everyone. But that's WrestleMania.
Whose show is this?